Monday. This is Mr. Dietz with the Teacher Notes to Self podcast. And I'm here to check in quickly on my way out back to home. And I think I'm doing all right. Sort of. I don't know. I had a good weekend. It was hard to get back this morning. I feel tired. Got these bags under my eyes. And I noticed this thing with my the lead singer of my favorite band, right? The 21 Pilots. Lead singer is Tyler Joseph. And he had this like funny thing he did at a concert, one of his shows recently, where normally he keeps the microphone away from his mouth when he's like jumping up back on the stage. And he's getting a little bit older now. I mean, he's not old. I'm not old either, but like he's getting into his 30s. He's got kids, whatever. Like I have kids, and and so when he gets up on the stage, he does a little like a little grunt to try to push himself up on the stage. And I've noticed that in the classroom. Every single time I bend down to pick something up, I can't not like let a little like grunt. And he called it a dad grunt. He's got a dad grunt now, and he accidentally like left his microphone on and grunted into the microphone to the whole stadium. Which I just think is funny. I just have 30 plus kids in my classroom who hear me grunt when I go to pick something up from the ground. So I've got dad grunts now. I embrace it. I own it. I'm a dad and I grunt. I've got dad grunts. I also have eye bags, and I need to take care of myself generally better, but like facial care has never been on my mind, or at least not very strong in my list of priorities of things. But I can have all kinds of ideas going on about like new things I want to write or ways I want to like help my students or whatever. Like so many things going on, and I like don't think twice about like washing my face more often. So there's something weird there I need to think about, like self-care for others. And I had this realization recently about like taking care of myself so that I'll be there longer for my kids. So I need to like have time to do those things. Like I don't even like, I keep my face this way, facial hair, because it's easier. I don't have to shave as often. So there's all kinds of things like that where I've like made choices because I don't feel like I have the time to do the things I need to do, I'm supposed to do to take care of myself. That includes doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, like all of those things I need to do. Like my car breaking down, like that partly is because like I need to take the time to take care of my cars better. But I don't, because I'm teaching. I'm busy doing this and getting exhausted and going home and then not having a whole lot left for much else. So that's all stuff I need to work on. I don't know if that rises to the level of like goals, but it kind of is. Like today I felt just like weird. I don't know. Made sure I was drinking water. I don't really have a headache like I did before. But I just need to figure out how to keep myself healthy so that I can keep doing the things I love, like teaching, like being a husband, being a dad, being a friend. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, that's a downer. But that's kind of where I'm at. I need friends. I have some really, really great friends. Some of them actually watch this and they check up on me, and I'm super grateful for them. But like, I'm still working on having time to like hang out with people on a regular basis, and it's hard to find time to do that. I don't realize how amazing it is to have friends who are your age around all the time when you're in high school, when you're in college. And then all of a sudden you're working and you have a family, and it's a lot. So I'm working on those things. All right, this was all kind of rambling, but that's stuff I'm thinking about as a teacher. How do I take the time I need to take care of myself so that I can be better present to the things I care about, which includes teaching as well as other things. So that's it. That's all right. That's all I have. So this has been the Teacher Notes to Self podcast, and we will see you next time. We'll try again. All right. Bye. Hey, everyone. Just got in my car. This is Mr. Dietz with the Teacher Notes to Self podcast. Welcome. I am finishing up on a Tuesday, which is objectively the worst day of the week. Not that today was necessarily bad. I think today went pretty well overall. But I just can't figure it out. I don't know. It's tough to prep for Wednesdays. That's just it. It's tough to prep for Wednesdays. No prep period tomorrow. Long periods. I'm just tired. I don't know how to do it. I did a little bit of prep. Didn't have any time to grade today. I'm trying to like fit in like a segment of grading to every one of my prep periods. And I couldn't do it today. Couldn't do it because I was trying to prep for tomorrow when I don't have a prep period. So, that was my goal, and I didn't really even finish it. So I'm going to have to wake up early tomorrow and do it because it's too late now. I need to get home. I had my check-in meeting with my my coach today, which is kind of happening every Tuesday while I'm in this first year of induction. And he helped me think of something to prep for tomorrow. I'm not like prepped yet. Like I don't have the instructions written on the slide, so I need to do all that in the morning before school. So I'll do that. But I have an idea now for what I'm going to do tomorrow to kind of adjust things for my chemistry classes. Which is actually a good sign. It's a good sign that I have some kind of mental capacity to modify things, to adjust things so that classes that have different needs are getting different teaching. I mean, ideally that should be true for every class. I don't know how a teacher's supposed to do that, but ideally every class that has different needs with different students, which is true no matter what for every class. Like you always have different groups of students who have different needs, and you need to address them differently in your teaching methods on the fly, seemingly somehow. But I'm trying something a little bit different for my chemistry classes tomorrow to see if that helps with some of the motivation and some of the shifting responsibility to students doing the learning instead of me giving them the learning, right? It really should be me guiding them while they are doing the work of learning, and that depends on how I set up the learning, right? So I'm going to try that tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. I gotta go. But the grading piece is a piece I'm gonna focus on this week. And also the self-care piece, and also this induction piece, and also too many pieces, too many different goals, too many different things. So I'm not totally sure what to focus on. But I am gonna try to make a doctor's appointment. Get that in there. I need to make a doctor's appointment. And then I need to grade things. And then I need to adjust my teaching. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, I need to go home. It's late. Sun's going down. So I'm gonna check out, and I will see you all next time. All right, and we will try again. Bye. Hi everyone. It's me again. It's Mr. Dietz with the Teacher Notes to Self podcast. And it's Wednesday. And it's late. I had a meeting today after school, a staff meeting. So a different meeting after school. And I had adjunct duty, which is this thing that teachers do where they work for free outside of their normal work time. And they don't get paid for it. So it's I worked for 2 hours at the ticket booth for the volleyball game, which is fun. It's important, and I want to help out because I know next semester when I'm coaching lacrosse, there's going to be some teachers who are helping out when we have games. So that's just kind of how things work around here. It's just a funny little system. All that to say, I gotta go because it's late. But today is just a really weird day. Super weird day. The reasons for that, I'm not totally sure, other than I started out stressed because I didn't have a prep this morning. And my morning before work was a little bit stressful. And then I got to work and I was like scrambling and I got some stuff ready, but then it wasn't really ready enough probably. But we made it through. It just wasn't great. And then I couldn't focus on the other things I need to focus on, which is grading, which I've talked about here. But also I tried to adjust something today and it just didn't feel like it went over well because my students who are having a hard time are still having a hard time. And I didn't really have time to set it up so that I could be there for them, I guess. I'm trying to set up like an activity or a project that is something regular and gives them regular accountability, and then have kind of quizzes based on it, just as like a quick feedback kind of thing for my students. And then I can also give them something to do where I can like check in on them and see how they're doing with it, whether they're keeping up with it. And maybe my students who aren't doing something now won't want to do it then, but like the change is hopefully going to help them see their learning a little bit more clearly. And that's really what my like grading thing is supposed to be helping doing also, but it's just not really doing that. So I'm doing my best with what I got today. Today just was not my best day. That is okay. So we'll try again next time. All right, so that's what we'll do. Try again tomorrow. Thanks y'all for being here. It's time for me to go. So have a good night, and we'll try again. Bye. Hey everyone, it is Mr. Dietz with Teacher Notes to Self podcast, and it's a Thursday. All I can say is tomorrow's Friday. This week has gone by quickly, but it's been a lot. It's been stressful. Yesterday was one of the more stressful days I've had all year. And today, when I had my prep period, which was great, literally, I used every minute of my prep period to be contacting parents and getting stuff ready for IEP meetings that are happening next week, and putting in observations, and getting emails back to people. The entire 90 minutes. That was my only time to do that kind of stuff this week. That was my time to do that, and so I did it. And I had no time to grade anything. No time to prep anything. Thankfully, I was already prepped for today because I just did the same thing I did yesterday, which is kind of nice. I just kind of put some finishing touches on it before class started. And then after school today, I prepped for tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'll prep for Monday. And on and on and on it goes, right? It's just like this endless wheel of prep, and that's all I have time for. But someone stopped by today, another teacher who is not new, but is relatively new within the last 4 years. She stopped by, and she's a site rep for the union, and it was a really helpful, really nice conversation to have. So, felt more support from that one conversation than from any of my admin all year. Not that they haven't tried to support me, but with the classes where I'm having behavior issues and I don't have time to get my head above the water because I'm prepping and trying to make sure that I have something to teach, much less teach it to the different levels and modify it for people who don't speak English as well, or I barely have time to get to the beginning of class with something ready to teach. And that's just, I think, the way it goes as a first year teacher. I'm getting lessons ready, and then somehow I'm supposed to do all this other stuff, and I don't know how to do it all. But that's a common refrain here on this podcast, so I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, but that's where I'm at. So good to have that conversation. Still feel super stressed, but a little less alone. So that is nice. I had this overwhelming feeling during lunch today where I went outside to eat lunch, which is what I have been doing recently, because I can't be in that classroom for that long, and I need those 20 minutes where I am sitting down, eating something, and not talking to someone, and not looking at a computer screen. I absolutely need those 20 minutes in my day to do that. So I do that, even though I could be grading for those 20 minutes. I could put in 2 grades or something, but I have to take those 20 minutes. And I just had this overwhelming sense of my classroom is an island. It's an island in this giant sea of a school, and my administrators sometimes maybe pop in to do an observation, check up on me, right, and then pop out. Like they little island hopper, they land, they see, like they take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. The formal observations are longer, more helpful, elaborated, but like they don't know what's going on in there, and I feel alone on an island trying to figure it out by myself. Because I know that I'm not alone, and there are teachers who help me, but all the other teachers are just as stressed as I am. And that's essentially what our conversation was like. That the other teachers feel the same way. And it makes sense as a first year teacher to be feeling this way. And so I'm not alone. But still, I need to figure out what to do when I come to these situations when there's behavior issues and the whole class just like, and it's not literally a whole class, but the amount of people who are derailing the lesson, asking to use the bathroom, or getting up, or throwing things across the classroom, or getting into, like, not that there are fights happening or like things getting thrown all the time, but like my mental energy is so spent and so like spread thin that I when those things happen, like all I can do is like address it directly and then try to move on. And I can't think about like, well, what are the bigger picture solutions? Like, what's the solve here that isn't just like a don't do that, or cut it out, or we don't throw things in class. Like that's the amount of management I'm kind of able to give right now. When I like should be maybe like moving people to different places and like, oh man, it's just like there's a bigger fabric of what's going on in my classroom, and I don't have the capacity to examine it. And that's partly what I'm doing right now, but like this is just like me vomiting words, which has been really helpful. And this is much longer than I thought I was going to talk today, because it's late and I'm tired and stressed, but this is real. This is what is happening to me right now. So I'm glad that I'm getting it recorded, and I'm gonna need to leave it there completely unresolved. But with someone in my corner and you all to be here with me, and some time to be imperfect and to try again, because I'm absolutely not going to be perfect, but like I don't even know where to start to become less imperfect. Like which strategies will help the most? I don't know. I don't even know where to start, because I don't have the time to dive into that, right? Like I can just prep and then get there and then try to manage it as it's going. And that's it. Yeah, I need to calm myself down. Okay. It's gonna be all right. And we will try again next time. Genuinely, thank you for being here. We're going to keep at it, and we'll see how tomorrow goes. All right? It's Friday tomorrow, so see you then. All right? Bye. Hey, everyone. It's Friday. Happy Friday. It's, the week is done. So I am on my way now to a football game because I have adjunct duty. So I'm doing tickets from 4 to 6 after teaching today. And then I am doing supervision. So I have 2 adjunct duties in one day, which is kind of nice. I get to knock them out, but also makes for a super long day. So I will be doing this video while I drive. So just kind of like final thoughts on the week for this podcast, right? This is Teacher Notes to Self podcast. My name is Mr. Dietz, and I'm so glad the week is done. And I have to get to the football game, the stadium, to start running tickets. So I'm going to be driving while I talk. I'll try to speak up. I've been using my teacher voice all day, and I'll just keep on going. All right, and so hopefully this works out fine. It's not going to be the best video quality, but when is it really ever? So that's all right. Here we go. Yeah, today was good. There's some buses in front of me, so I have to somehow get around the buses. Excuse me while I focus. I'm gonna go out this way to avoid the buses. All right. So I'm supposed to be there at 4 o'clock. School gets done at 3:30. Contract time ends at 3:45. So in theory, if you're done at 3:45, you can make it over to the game by 4. And I think I'm gonna make it just fine. But it's pretty tight. It's pretty tight, and usually I'm staying much later than that, so I'm kind of forced to leave. Which is also not such a bad thing, because I could stay there for 2 more hours and keep prepping things, but it's just going to have to be what it's going to be, and I'll get to it on Monday. So, here we go. This week was a tough week. It was, it really was. I felt pretty stressed. I know on my video yesterday, I was talking about my week and my day and was trying to process it. And I had to take a moment and cool myself down. And that happens every once in a while. And not often do I have the capacity or the mental clarity to be I'm anxious right now. I gotta calm myself down. But yesterday, I think partly because I'm on this video, and so you all are keeping me kind of more reflective and self-reflective. So yeah, it's been a stressful week. And there are lots of reasons for that. One of the main things is that dynamic between prep time, grading time, and admin time, to do my administrative tasks. Having time to do that, which is what I used all of my longer prep period this week for. So I didn't have time to actually prep or to grade. And so those piles get bigger and bigger. Here's the stressful thing about that. The actual, I think, pressure point is that parent-teacher conferences are next week. And for whatever reason, and other teachers kind of mentioned this too, but for whatever reason this year, and I kind of expected it because I have freshmen, and I have some of the freshmen who are more, at least they want to be high achievers. They're in kind of the academy classes, which are kind of code for honors classes, but they're not technically honors classes, so that's an interesting thing. You have to keep a certain GPA to stay in these cohorts there, and anyways, I have those students, and so I expected to have a lot of parents from those students, and I do. But every single one of my parent-teacher conferences slots got filled up like that. And that, I don't think, that was definitely not what last year was like when I was co-teaching. And most of the teachers have been saying the same thing. Like, most of the other teachers are like, my slots got all filled up this year. And what's crazy about that, here it is, 36 slots. And I still have like 4 other parents who reached out who want to set up other times, like outside of the my required parent-teacher conference meetings. And I've already responded to some of those, or all of those, by email, and some of them I've like given updates over email, and so that's like a helpful way to connect with the parents. And I want to do that. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot to fit in on top of what I was already doing. So it's really, really hard. It's just hard. It's I feel stretched thin mentally. Like I just, and I've had a couple really good conversations. Like I was talked about one yesterday. I had a conversation with some other of the teachers about like how to, like what strategies I can use when there's behavior issues in class. And an issue for me is like having the mental space in the moment to be like, what are my strategies and what can I do in this moment to best bring people back to being focused. And so I need to work on that toolbox, really. But I need to be able to think about that toolbox and not just think about like barely keeping my head above water with prep. So those are the main conundrums I'm coming up against. I think for next week, my goal will be just to survive. I know that's super lame and not super growth mindset oriented. But honestly, I'll be working 12-hour days, 3 days a week next week, or 3 days of the week next week. And Friday is the Friday after Halloween. Halloween's a Thursday, so Friday is the day after. And that's just going to be a total, you know what I mean, right? It's going to be insane. The Friday after Halloween night. Woo! Well, now that I got all that out, I'm almost at the football stadium. So I will let you all go. Thank you all sincerely for being here, for joining me on this journey. As I go through all these ups and downs, right? So I am super grateful for this space and for those of you who have been on there and who have commented and who have been a part of this. Who knows what this is going to become, but it's helpful in this moment for me to reflect and adjust and be goal-oriented. It's really good for me. So I appreciate you all. Thankful for the space. Just like, comment, subscribe. I know I say that, but it really does help if you would get the message out, right? So that maybe something that I'm saying, right, resonates with someone when there's another teacher who's struggling, right? There are a lot of ex-teachers, right? Teachers who were struggling a lot and then couldn't do it anymore and they left. I don't want to be one of those stories. Like I want to be there for my students, and I want to do it in a sustainable way, which means I want to keep doing it for a long time so that I can get better at it and so that I can have a bigger impact on these kids, right? So that they can grow up and become who they're meant to be. But that means I need to be able to stick in this for the long haul, and that's what I want to do because I like it. I really do. I like teaching science and being able to be a part of these kids' lives for this small portion of their lives as they're growing up and becoming who they're going to be. So thanks for being here all, and I'll be back at it on Monday. I'll try to get this recorded. I don't know, who knows when, but well, yeah, get it all put together and get it up on YouTube. I'll do that soon. All right, so see you all Monday, and we'll try again next time. All right.